Why you wouldn't last a day in ancient Rome. The hidden truths of a fading empire introduction. Close your eyes, if you wish, and let the world slip away. Imagine yourself drifting back through time to a city of stone and shadow, where the air hums with the rhythm of 1,000 lives. Welcome to ancient Rome, in the heart of the 2nd century CE. It's a place of towering aqueducts and crumbling tenements, of whispered legends and forgotten struggles. Tonight, we'll wander through the crowded streets of the eternal city, peeling back the myths to uncover the truths of those who lived here. You'll walk in the worn sandals of a plebeian, follow the defiant path of a rebel, unravel the secrets of Rome's enduring creations, and glimpse the opulent world of its elite. This is not a tale of glory, but of the quiet, relentless pulse of daily life, journey to lull your mind and ease you toward rest. So settle in, let your thoughts soften, and imagine yourself in Rome, where every stone tells a story, and every story carries you closer to sleep. Segment 1. The Why It Sucked to Be. Daily Life Immersion. Picture yourself waking in the pre-dawn gloom of a Roman insula, one of the towering, rickety apartment blocks that crowd the Subura, Rome's poorest district. The air is thick with the scent of damp plaster, and yesterday's cooking perhaps, a faint whiff of garum. It's that pungent fish sauce that clings to every surface. Your bed is a straw pallet, thin and lumpy, pressed against a wall that feels cold and slightly damp to the touch. The rough wool of your tunic scratches your skin as you rise, the fabric threadbare from years of wear. Outside, the city is already stirring, a low hum of voices, cartwheels, and distant shouts that never quite fades, even in the deepest hours of night. You are a plebeian, one of Rome's working poor, perhaps a laborer or a porter, scraping by in the shadow of the empire's grandeur. Your day begins with a trip to the communal latrine, a cramped, stone-lined room shared by dozens of tenants. The air here is sharp with the stench of waste, barely masked by the herbs some optimistic soul has scattered on the floor. There's no privacy, only the shuffle of neighbors and the trickle of water through the channels below. You move quickly, eager to escape the odor and the press of bodies. Back in the street, the Subura assaults your senses. The narrow alleys are slick with mud and refuse, a mix of vegetable scraps, broken pottery, and things better left unnamed. You step carefully, your sandals slipping on the uneven cobbles. Spartacus call out, their voices blending into a ceaseless drone bread olives, cheap wine. The smell of baking bread from a nearby stall is a fleeting comfort, but is drowned out by the reek of unwashed bodies and the tufts of smoke from countless hearths. The city is a living thing, restless and loud, its pulse a constant reminder of your place within it. Your breakfast is simple, a hunk of coarse bread baked from the cheapest grain, gritty against your teeth. If you're lucky, you have a few olives or a smear of oil to soften its dryness. Water comes from a public fountain, a long walk away where you jostle with others to fill a chipped clay jug. The water tastes faintly of earth, and you drink sparingly, knowing the trek to refill it will eat into your day. Hunger is a familiar companion, not sharp enough to cripple, but a dull ache that lingers. A reminder of the constant struggle to earn enough for the next meal. Your work is grueling, perhaps hauling goods to the market or unloading grain from barges on the Tiber. The sun beats down, and sweat stings your eyes as you heft sacks or crates, your shoulders aching under the weight. Your hands are calloused, your nails cracked, and the rough hemp of the sacks chafes your skin. The overseer's voice is sharp, urging you to move faster, though your body protests with every step. A misstep could mean a fine, or worse, the loss of a day's wages coin you need to pay the landlord, who looms like a specter, demanding rent for your cramped corner of the insula. The threat of debt is ever present, a shadow that darkens your thoughts. Fall behind, and you could be sold into slavery, your freedom traded for a handful of sesterces. Even now, you see slaves in the market, their eyes downcast, their movements hurried under the weight of their master's commands. Their tunics are no different from yours, but their lives are not their own. A reminder of how thin the line is between your struggle and theirs. Disease, too, is a constant fear. The air in the Subura is heavy, carrying the coughs and fevers of your neighbors. You've heard of entire families swept away by a summer plague, their bodies carted off before dawn. Cleanliness is a luxury. You can't afford baths are for those with coin to spare. And the public baths are a long walk from your insula. You make do with a damp cloth, wiping the grime from your face, but the city's dirt clings to you, a second skin of dust and sweat. Leisure is scarce, but in the evening you might find a moment in a tavern, a dim, smoky room where the wine is sour and watered down. You sit on a wobbly stool, the chatter of others washing over you like a tide. A dice game tempts, but you resist gambling, could cost you what little you have. Instead, you listen to a storyteller spinning tales of gods and heroes, their voices a fleeting escape from the rhythm of your life. But soon, the weight of exhaustion pulls you back to the insula, up the creaking stairs to your pallet, where sleep is your only refuge. This is the life of a Roman plebeian, a cycle of labor and survival woven into the fabric of the city. The grandeur of the Colosseum, the marble temples, the triumphs of emperors, they are distant, almost unreal from the narrow streets where you tread. Yet this is Rome, too, a city built on the backs of those who toil in its shadows. There lies a testament to the quiet endurance of the forgotten. As the clamor of Rome's crowded streets fades into the background, let your mind drift to a different corner of the empire, to a man whose name would echo through the ages. Though he began as little more than a shadow in the city's vast machine. Imagine yourself in the dusty arenas and hidden camps of 73 BCE, where a Thracian warrior named Spartacus carved a fleeting, defiant path against the might of Rome. His story is not one of marble triumphs or gilded statues, but of a man bound by chains, driven by a quiet fire to seek freedom, only to face the relentless weight of an empire. Let's walk with him through the rhythm of his life, a tale told softly to carry you deeper into the night. Spartacus was born far from Rome, in the rugged hills of Thrace, a land of shepherds and warriors, where the wind carried the scent of wild herbs and the distant bleating of flocks. Picture him as a young man, tall and broad-shouldered, his hands calloused from wielding a spear, his eyes scanning the horizon for raiders. Thrace was a place of fierce independence, but it was no match for Rome's expanding reach. Perhaps he fought as a mercenary, or perhaps he was captured in a skirmish. History leaves his early years cloaked in shadow. What we know is that he became a soldier in Rome's auxiliary forces, serving the very power that would soon enslave him. The details are faint, like whispers on the wind, but they hint at a man who knew both loyalty and betrayal. By the time we find Spartacus in Capua, a bustling city south of Rome, he is no longer a free man. He is a slave, sold to a lanista, a trainer of gladiators, to fight in the arena for the amusement of the crowds. Imagine the training grounds, the air heavy with dust and sweat, the clatter of wooden swords, and the barked orders of the lanista. Spartacus, with his Thracian strength, was trained as a murmillo, a gladiator armed with a short sword and a heavy shield. Each day, he sparred under the merciless sun, his muscles aching, his body marked by bruises. The gladiator's life was a strange paradox, fed well to keep strong, yet valued less than the beasts they sometimes faced. Death was a constant companion, not always in the arena, but in the quiet moments, when the weight of captivity pressed against the heart. Yet something stirred in Spartacus, a spark that refused to be smothered. In 73 BCE, he saw his chance. With a small band of fellow gladiators, perhaps 70 or 80 men, their names now lost, he plotted escape. Picture the moment: a stolen night, the creak of a gate, the hushed urgency of men slipping into the darkness. They seized kitchen knives, crude weapons, anything they could find, and fled to the slopes of Mount Vesuvius, a looming shadow against the starry sky. There, in the rocky caves and tangled brush, Spartacus began to forge not just an escape, but a rebellion, a quiet defiance that would grow into a storm. The rebellion swelled as others joined. Slaves from nearby estates, runaway laborers, even some free men drawn to the promise of freedom. Imagine their camp, a patchwork of tents and makeshift shelters. The air filled with the murmur of many tongues, Thracian, Gaulish, Greek. Spartacus, now a leader, moved among them, his voice steady, his presence an anchor in the chaos. He trained his followers, turning shepherds and farmers into warriors, the crude spears and stolen armor a testament to their resolve. They raided villas and supply lines, moving swiftly, always one step ahead of Rome's wrath. The victories were small at first, ambushes in narrow passes, skirmishes under moonlit skies, but they sent ripples through the empire. Rome, slow to recognize the threat, sent militia to crush what they thought was a mere band of rabble. But Spartacus was no ordinary leader. He was cunning, choosing terrain that favored his smaller force, in the night. In one early clash, his men routed a Roman force, their shouts echoing through the hills as they claimed weapons and supplies. The spoils were shared, a rare act in a world where power hoarded everything. Spartacus, we're told, sought not riches, but freedom, a dream as fragile as it was bold. His followers grew to tens of thousands, a tide of the desperate and the defiant, united by the hope of a life unbound. But the rhythm of their rebellion was not without cost. The rebels faced hunger, their supplies scavenged from a land already stripped by Rome's demands. Winter brought biting cold, and the wounded carried scars that told of battles fought with no promise of victory. Spartacus led them south, then north, perhaps dreaming of crossing the Alps to escape Rome's reach forever. Yet the path was fraught. Some followers, drunk on early successes, urged him to march on Rome itself, a city glittering in the distance, but bristling with legions. Spartacus, wary of such a gamble, kept his focus on survival, his decisions weighed by the lives in his care. Rome, now roused, sent its full might. Marcus Licinius Crassus, a man of great ambition, took command, his legions disciplined and relentless. The rebels faced battles that left fields heavy with loss, lives fading into the earth like rain. Spartacus fought on, his strategies bold yet measured, but the tide was turning, spending in 71 BCE in a final stand in southern Italy. The rebellion met its end. The battlefield was a somber tableau, a place where dreams of freedom were quietly extinguished. Spartacus himself vanished, perhaps, fallen among his men, perhaps slipping into legend. His body was never found, his fate a whisper in the wind. What drove Spartacus? Was it the memory of Thracian hills, or the sting of chains? His rebellion, though crushed, left a mark on Rome, a reminder of the human cost of its power. You lie there, imagine his final moments, standing under a vast sky, his breath steady, his heart unbowed. His story, like the city itself, is a testament to the quiet endurance of those who dare to dream, even in the shadow of an empire. As the echo of Spartacus' rebellion fades into the quiet of the night, let your mind drift to a different facet of Rome's vast legacy, not its battles or its heroes, but the silent strength of its stones. Imagine yourself standing on the shores of the Mediterranean, where the waves lap gently against ancient piers and breakwaters, their surfaces weathered yet unyielding after centuries. These are the works of Roman concrete, a creation so enduring that it holds secrets we are only now beginning to unravel. Tonight, we'll explore the mystery of why this material, molded by hands long gone, outlasts our own modern efforts, its story woven into the rhythm of Rome's ingenuity. Settle deeper and let this quiet enigma carry you closer to rest. Picture a Roman harbor, perhaps at Ostia, Rome's bustling port. In the 2nd century CE, the air is heavy with salt and the tamps of seaweed. The horizon dotted with ships unloading grain and wine. The docks stretch into the sea, their foundations submerged, yet they stand firm against the relentless tide. These structures, built of a strange, grayish concrete, are not mere relics, they are marvels. Modern concrete crumbles within decades, especially in the harsh embrace of seawater. But Roman piers and breakwaters endure, some for over 2,000 years. What is the secret of their strength? Why do these ancient works defy time when our own creations falter? To understand this mystery, imagine yourself at a Roman construction site. The ground is littered with piles of volcanic ash, limestone, and broken stone. The air sharp with the scent of burnt lime and damp earth. Workers, their tunics stained with sweat, mix these materials in wooden troughs, their movements steady and practiced. The key ingredient is pozzolana, a fine ashy sand from the volcanic regions near Mount Vesuvius. Unlike the smooth river sand of today, pozzolana is gritty, almost silken to the touch, its particles sparkling faintly in the sunlight. The Romans blended with slaked lime, a chalky paste formed by heating limestone, and add chunks of rock, perhaps tuff or basaltous aggregate. Water is poured in, and the mixture is stirred, its texture thick and unyielding, like dough before it rises. This concrete, once poured, transforms in ways we're only now beginning to grasp. Imagine it being tamped into wooden molds, perhaps for a harbor wall or an aqueduct space. The mixture is not laid in neat layers, as we might expect, but packed firmly, almost carelessly, its surface uneven. Yet, within this rough exterior lies its genius. When used underwater, as in the piers of Ostia or Caesarea, the concrete is poured directly into the sea, sometimes within cofferdams or simple cloth sacks. The salt water, far from weakening it, becomes its ally. The pozzolana reacts with the lime and seawater, forming a crystalline structural luminous tabermorite and philipsite that binds the concrete into a stone-like mass. These crystals, invisible to the naked eye, grow over time, knitting the material tighter, making it stronger as the centuries pass. Archaeologists have uncovered these secrets in recent years, diving beneath the waves to study submerged Roman structures. Imagine their torches cutting through the murky water, illuminating barnacle-encrusted walls that still hold their shape. Core samples, drilled from ancient piers, reveal layers of crystals. Their patterns, a testament to a chemical alchemy the Romans may not have fully understood. They didn't need to. Their knowledge was practical, born of observation and trial. They knew pozzolana, like routinely, made the strongest concrete, while other sands failed. They knew to mix it fresh, to pack it tightly, to let it cure in the sea's embrace. Their recipes, recorded by architects like Vitruvius, speak of proportions and methods, but the full magic of their craft remained a mystery, even to them. Contrast this with modern concrete, and the difference is stark. Picture a modern port, stained with rust from steel reinforcements. Modern Portland cement, while quick to set, lacks the reactive magic of pozzolana. It binds well at first, but over decades, seawater seeps in, corroding the steel within, weakening the structure. Roman concrete, by contrast, rarely used metal, relying instead on the natural strength of its materials. Its crystals heal small cracks, adapting to the environment rather than fighting it. Scientists today, studying these ancient mixes, even recreated Roman concrete in laboratories, marveling at its resilience, hoping to mimic it for our own crumbling world. But the mystery deepens when you consider the Romans' ingenuity beyond the material itself. Imagine the construction of the Portus Harbor, a massive complex built under Emperor Trajan. Workers hauled volcanic ash across miles, their carts creaking under the weight. They built wooden forms in the sea, their hands chilled by the water. their movements guided by engineers who understood the tides. The concrete was poured in layers, each settling before the next, a process that took months, even years. The result was a harbor that could shelter Rome's fleets, its walls standing like silent sentinels, their surfaces smoothed by centuries of waves. Why, then, did this knowledge fade? As Rome's empire waned, so did its engineering traditions. The fall of the Western Empire scattered its builders, and the recipes for pozzolana-based concrete were lost, buried in manuscripts or forgotten in the chaos. Medieval builders used lime mortars, strong but brittle, and it wasn't until the 19th century that concrete re-emerged, reinvented without the volcanic secret. Even now, we struggle to match the durability of Rome's creations. Our modern ports and dams paling beside their ancient counterparts. As you lie there, imagine the waves lapping against a Roman breakwater. The stone warm from the sun, its surface etched with the passage of time. These structures, unassuming yet eternal, are a testament to the quiet ingenuity of those who built them, men whose names are lost, but whose work endures. The mystery of Roman concrete is not just in its chemistry, but in its legacy, a whisper of a civilization that shaped the world, then slipped into the shadows, leaving only its stones to speak. As the mystery of Rome's enduring concrete settles into the quiet corners of your mind, let us shift our gaze from the weathered stones of the harbor to the polished marble of a different world. Imagine yourself stepping away from the crowded, noisy Subura, leaving behind the plebeian's toil, and entering the cool, perfumed halls of a Roman senator's villa. Here, in the 2nd century CE, life unfolds in a rhythm of privilege and power, yet one bound by its own burdens, subtle, intricate, and ever-present. Picture yourself as a senator, draped in the soft folds of a toga, moving through a day where every gesture carries weight, every word a calculated step in the dance of Rome's elite. Let this world of luxury and intrigue envelop you, its details a gentle current to carry you toward rest. Your day begins in the soft light of dawn, within the walls of your villa on the Palatine Hill, where Rome's wealthiest reside. The air is cool, scented with myrtle and rosemary from the garden courtyard, where a fountain murmurs softly, its water catching the first rays of sun. You rise from a bed of fine wool, draped with linens dyed in hues of saffron and indigo, imported from distant provinces. Slaves, their footsteps silent, attend you, offering a silver basin of warmed water to wash your face. The water is faintly perfumed, a luxury that masks the faint dust of the city beyond. Your toga, heavy with its intricate folds, is draped with precision. Its white wool, bordered with the purple stripe of your rank, a symbol of your place in Rome's hierarchy. Breakfast is a quiet affair, taken in the atrium, where sunlight filters through an open roof onto a mosaic floor depicting nymphs and vines. You recline on a cushioned couch, nibbling at fresh figs, soft cheese, and bread baked with honey, its crust still warm from the oven. A goblet of watered wine, its taste tart and refreshing, sits within reach. The meal is simple yet refined, a stark contrast to the plebeian's gritty bread and olives. A world away in the suburb's crowded alleys, your slaves move with practiced grace, clearing plates and anticipating your needs. Their presence a constant reminder of the power you wield, than the dependence it entails. Your morning is consumed by the rituals of patronage, the lifeblood of Roman society. Clients, lesser men seeking your favor gather at your villa's entrance, their voices a low hum as they wait. You greet them in the tablinum, a room lined with wax tablets and scrolls, the air thick with the scent of ink and papyrus. Each client offers loyalty or services, perhaps a poet reciting verses or a merchant bearing gifts of spiced oil. In return, you offer influence, perhaps a word in the Senate, a favor with a magistrate. The exchange is a delicate balance, a web of obligations that binds Rome's social order. You listen, nod, promise, but always with caution, for trust is a luxury even the powerful cannot afford. By midday, you make your way to the Forum, the heart of Rome's political life. The journey is short, your litter carried by slaves through streets lined with statues and temples. The Forum is a swirl of activity, its air heavy with the scent of incense from nearby altars and the murmur of orators addressing crowds. You join fellow senators in the Curia, its marble walls cool against the heat, and debate matters of state taxes, wars, or the price of grain. Your words are measured, your gestures practiced, for every speech is a performance, watched by allies and rivals alike. A misstep could weaken your influence, or worse, invite accusations of disloyalty. The emperor's shadow looms large, even here, a reminder that power in Rome is never truly yours. The afternoon brings respite, perhaps a visit to the baths, where you linger in the caldarium, the steam rising in curls around mosaicked tiled walls. The water soothes your skin, its warmth easing the tension of the day. You converse with other senators, your voices low, discussing alliances or the latest omens from the augurs. The baths are a place of leisure, but also of politics, where whispers carry as much weight as speeches in the Senate. You emerge refreshed, anointed with oils that smell of cedar and lavender, your body draped in a clean tunic, ready for the evening's rituals. Dinner is the centerpiece of your day, a banquet in the triclinium, where guests recline on couches draped with silk. The room glows with the light of oil lamps, their flames casting shadows on frescoed walls painted with scenes of myth. Slaves serve course after course roasted peacock, dormice glazed with honey, fruits from the empire's farthest reaches. The air is rich with the aroma of spices, cinnamon and saffron, mingling with the laughter and conversation of your guests. A poet recites verses, a musician plays the lyre, its notes soft and haunting. Yet even here, the talk turns to politics, rumors of a rival's ambition, or the emperor's latest decree. You smile, offer wine, but your mind is ever watchful, navigating the currents of power. As the night deepens, you retire to your study, a quiet room lined with scrolls of philosophy and law. By the flicker of a single lamp, you read Plato or draft a letter, the scratch of your stylus a steady rhythm. These moments of solitude are rare, a chance to reflect on your place in Rome's vast machine. Yet even now, the weight of your role presses upon you, patron, senator, rival, ally. Your villa, with its marble and mosaics, is a world apart from the plebeian's insula, where the air is thick with smoke and the floors slick with mud. Their lives are a grind of survival, their days shaped by hunger and labor, while yours are woven with influence and intrigue. Yet both of you, in your way, are bound to Rome, its rhythms dictating your every step. As you lie there, imagine the villa's courtyard, the fountain's murmur fading into the night. The senator's life, for all its luxury, is no less relentless than the plebeian's, a different kind of struggle, but a struggle nonetheless. Rome's grandeur is built on these contrasts, its stones laid by the labor of the many and the ambition of the few. Let this thought linger, soft and unhurried, as you drift closer to the edge of sleep. Conclusion. As the glow of the senator's villa fades, let your mind linger on the city of Rome, its stones still warm from the day's sun, its air heavy with the whispers of countless lives. But at night, we've wandered through the eternal city's many faces, the cramped, smoky insula where a plebeian toiled under the weight of survival, the rugged hills where Spartacus carved a fleeting dream of freedom, the ancient harbors where concrete defies time itself, and the perfumed halls where a senator navigated the delicate dance of power. Each story, so different, is bound by the rhythm of Roma, rhythm of struggle, ambition, and quiet endurance that echoes across centuries. Picture the city now, as night falls, streets grow quiet, save for the distant creak of a cart or the soft splash of an aqueduct's flow. The plebeian sleeps on a straw pallet, exhausted but alive to face another day. Spartacus, rebellion, though faded, lingers as a spark in the hearts of the oppressed. The concrete piers stand sentinel by the sea, their secrets locked in crystal and stone, and the senator, in his marble villa, dreams of triumphs yet to come, his world of fragile balance of privilege and peril. This is Rom not just the empire of legend, but a tapestry of human lives, woven from hardship and hope, from the mundane to the monumental. As you lie there, wrapped in the comfort of your own time, consider how distant that world feels. No longer do you tread through muddy alleys or fear the shadow of death, its clamor of the Subura, the weight of chains, the intrigues of the Forum. They are echoes now, softened by time. Yet they remind us of the resilience that shaped them, the quiet strength of those who built and endured an empire. Let these thoughts drift with you, like leaves on a gentle stream, masterfully leading you into a world of dreams, carrying you further from the day's cares. The night is yours now, a space of rest and peace. Rome, with all its grandeur and grit, slips back into the shadows, its stories told, its secrets shared. Close your eyes, if you haven't already, and let the rhythm of the past fade into the rhythm of your breath. Sleep well, knowing that the world you visited tonight remains, preserved in stone in memory, waiting for you should you wish to return. For now, let it rest, and let yourself drift into the quiet embrace of the night.